Oh shit, I went to the wrong thing. Let's do it. We're live with another episode of BS Busters. Thank you for joining us. This is Mr. Red Fox, and I'm joined by the usual suspect. Go ahead, sir. Introduce yourself.
This is Kanashi Abominito. Glad to be here and on one of these casts.
Glad to have you. Now, tonight we're going to be talking about a few things. Dragon's Dogma 2, Electric Boogaloo, missed opportunities in gaming, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, re-release, and some other topics that might come up as things go by. And of course, we'll do our usual unpopular opinion and free topic. But before we go any further, what you been playing?
I started playing Dragon's Dogma 2 yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't get too far because I got tired and needed to go to bed. But yeah, I'm probably gonna end up playing it tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Dragon's Dogma. From what I've been playing of it, is one of those games that, like, there's some games like Bethesda games, if they're heavily modded and you're playing it on PC with mods, are the type of game you can sit down and play for like 3, 4, or 5 hours.
Yeah.
Dragon's Dogma is not one of those games. Dragon's Dogma is one of those games where you get a major side quest, a major quest, and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this major quest. And like you have to walk to a settlement or something and go do the quest. Then you come back and turn that in and you're like, okay, I got to take a break. it's like I need to go. I need to take a break. It's like, it's like I need a break. I need to take like 20 or 30 minutes, maybe an hour. Maybe that's all I'm doing. It's like playing a D&D campaign where like it's like playing an epic D&D campaign with your friends and you're like, okay, like you have the campaign, you're building it to face the big bad at the end of the campaign, but you also have side quests and stuff. And you do a side quest and that took like 2 or 3 hours and then you go home and wait for the next session, the next week when your friends get together and you play it again. That's Dragon's Dogma. It's like you got to pace yourself, Now, full disclosure, I'm playing with a trainer. I'm not cheating that badly. I just made myself have infinite stamina, so when I climb monsters, I'm not like, I'm getting weaker climbing this sumbitch. And I gave myself maxed out DCP points, which basically let you unlock your vocation abilities, so then I can get them faster without having to grind like a maniac. But I don't have infinite health, so I can die easily.
Yeah.
Just because I can more easily get the ability to beat your ass doesn't mean I'm going to be good at it yet. And it's wonderful. It's wonderfully janky, just like the original Dragon's Dogma, just a little bit sharper. But I've been enjoying it. Now, I haven't gotten that far. I haven't gotten any of the cool vocations like Mystic Spearhand, where you're like friggin' like Dragon's Dogma. You're friggin' Devil May Cry, hacking and slashing motherfuckers with a glaive. I don't have that ability yet. I haven't unlocked that ability. But what I've been playing, I've been enjoying. So,
yeah.
Already playing this game. I'm hoping that modders will take it further, add new content. I'm hoping that the people who made the game add new content, maybe new playable races like dwarves and shit, elves, because there are elves and dwarves in the game.
Yeah.
You just can't create them. I'm like, nah, man, let me play as a dwarf. Give me racial characteristics. Like, I'm a dwarf. I'm really strong, but really short.
Yeah.
Pick a goblin up and throw his ass off a cliff. But, in the cast I was in yesterday, we said, the topic was Dragon's Dogma is broken. Dragon's Dogma 2 is broken. Having played more of it last night, and a little bit today, I don't want to say it's broken. I will say it's very unoptimized across all platforms, but it's not like unplayable. Like I like if I had a physical version of this game, I wouldn't pick it up and take it to the store and be like, "Take this shit back and give me back my money."
Yeah.
But with that being said, here are 5 games that I did that I definitely would and have returned and gotten my money back. You can chime in if you agree or bring up some games yourself that you were like, this is wonderful. This isn't wonderfully broken. This is just broken. And I can't believe they charged people $60 or $70 for this. Here we go. Fallout 4. It's my first one on my list. Fallout 4 is when people tell me that Dragon's Dogma 2 is unoptimized and man, the frame dropped down to 30 frames per second in the city. I'm like, I wish Fallout 4 dropped to 30 frames per second around Diamond City. In Fallout 4, it uses the Luminous engine, which is just a fork of the Gamebryo engine or the Creation engine. It uses the Creation engine, Creation 1.5, which is the same engine they use for Skyrim, which itself is a fork of the Gamebryo engine that Bethesda's been using for years now, okay? Now, Fallout 4 is not only unoptimized, but the same janky, buggy, broken bullshit that's in all the other Bethesda games prior is also in this one, all right? I'm talking enemies disappearing, if-then triggers not being triggered, dirty code. And here's the thing, Fallout 4, not nearly as bad as the game after this in terms of being broken. Fallout 76. Now, Fallout 76 was terrible.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Fallout 76 was made using the Creation engine. And basically, they took the Creation engine, Bethesda did, or the studio they got to do. Like, they took the Creation engine, they created the world, and then they handed off the pre-made world with, like the architecture of the world, the setting, like the mountains, the wasted towns. And they said, hey, secondary studio who we own, who's never worked with this engine really, fill it up with monsters and side quests that don't have NPCs but a little note that you pick up or a computer that you type in, and make a game. And they took an engine that, like the Gamebryo engine itself, was designed for MMOs, like old school top-down isometric MMOs, because it's designed to allow a lot of NPCs without crashing the game. Like the scripting engine is designed to have all those NPCs doing shit without crashing the game.
Yeah.
Well, they took that engine and used it to make some bullshit. Fallout 76. Taking aside the PR nightmare of, Bethesda selling like $100 to get the early access version where you paid to be a beta tester for this game and all that other shit, the game was broken at launch. Like, people were losing their save data. People were being auto banned for using non-gameplay enhancing mods, like shit that just made it like the HUD better. He cleaned up the HUD or made the graphics better. They were being banned for that. Not for cheating, just banned for making like shit that if you play an MMO that people can use now on MMOs to make their game better. They were being banned from playing their game.
Yeah.
There were griefers going around who hacked the game and were going around giving people like items that they had hacked using illicit means to get access to, and they were giving like excess items to random people, and they were getting banned because they accepted some random shit that someone just dropped to them.
Yeah.
So Fallout 76, and now people say it's better. It's like a fun game to play with your friends, but I don't like playing, like, there's certain games that I will play with my friends. NBA Jam, a kart racing game, an arcade beat 'em up, sure. A first-person / third-person post-apocalyptic sandbox RPG is not something I want to play with my friends.
Yeah.
But we're keeping the Bethesda ball rolling. My number 3 broken ass game, Skyrim.
Yeah.
Skyrim is so broken that even today, if you get the vanilla version, the updated 64-bit version of Skyrim, the vanilla game is still broken. Bethesda has never fixed that game. They just keep on taking the code, porting it up to run on newer systems, and then just release it.
Yeah.
Um, Now, on PC, this isn't that much of an issue because on PC you can do such things as download unofficial patches which fix a lot of the inherent issues with the game. But if you have this on console, like I did back in the day, I had it on PS3, the most buggy, broken piece of shit version of Skyrim. Now, let me explain how playing Skyrim was back in the day on PS3. You could only play for about an hour and a half to 3.5 hours. After that point, the memory bleed of the cell architecture that was the whole purpose behind the power, the technology that powered the PS3 would make it so that the game world would begin to devour itself because it couldn't load the assets fast enough or properly enough. So basically, you would enter a house or a building or a cave and just fall through the floor for eternity, and then or the game would crash.
Yeah.
And if you were unlucky, you'd get a corrupted save from when you entered that thing. So you basically would have to go to the previous save. Or if you didn't save, if you set it so that it saved like it didn't save automatically, it saved manually. You basically would lose hours of progress at any given time. This is the only game that I basically rushed through. I played through like three out of the like 6 factions you can join in the game. Did the main quest, beat it in like a week, and then turned it in and got like 47 bucks from GameStop. 47 bucks back from GameStop. So Skyrim is still gloriously broken today. Bethesda has never fixed this game. There are quests that are fundamentally broken in the vanilla version of this game, and they've re-released this game like 4 or 5 times now, maybe 6. Have never fixed it. So when I hear people say this game is broken, I'm like, but motherfucker, you don't know broken. You don't know what a broken game is until you played Skyrim. Okay, vanilla Skyrim. Oh boy, that's a like. Let me explain how broken
That game won Game of the Year by several publications.
it did. So did Dragon Age Inquisition, which was a steaming pile of dog shit. Which just proves that you know there are some people who will take any. They will there when that game won Game of the Year, there was no competition for it. There was nothing like it on the market.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you want to know how Bethesda sell their games so well, how their games are profitable? They spend a fuck ton of money on marketing. And they build up a lot of hype for it. But if you take a step back and really take a look at like the quality of their games, Bethesda like their games have issues. Um like I would say that Theodore forgot his name, Ted shit. Ted let's see here. Bethesda head Bethesda Todd Howard. Theodore Howard. Todd Howard thing about Todd Howard made a lot of these games mainstream, but at the detriment of making the games like the soul of their games. Like I don't mind playing a game that takes you have to invest to get good at it. Because that's how games used to be back in the day. Like, you had pick up and play games like a Mario game, but then you had games you had to invest in order to get good at. Like, you had to invest in the original Legend of Zelda game. That's not a game you just pick up and start walking around because you will have no idea what the fuck you're doing. It's a game where you have to invest the time to figure out how to play it. That's how old school RPGs were. I don't mind investing the time in an RPG to get good to learn how to play it. Because when you invest the time in certain games, you get more reward. It's more rewarding to play a game like that because there's depth to it. It's
Yeah.
the reason why Skyrim is, if you ask a hardcore Bethesda fan from like back in the day, your Morrowind, your Daggerfall, your Oblivion fans, they'll like Skyrim. It's a little over casualized.
Yeah.
But you're right. Like here's the thing. Here's the thing. Just because something's popular doesn't mean it's good. Okay? Because if that was the case, there's a lot of people that smoke meth. Meth is not good. There's a lot of people who smoke cigarettes. It's not good.
Yeah.
A lot of people eat fast food. Fast food is not healthy.
Yeah.
Okay? Popularity does not equal it being objectively good. Okay? Broccoli. A lot of people don't like to eat broccoli. Broccoli's healthy as fuck for you. Okay?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So I don't want to, popularity. So Skyrim won Game of the Year. Why? Because it was like Bethesda spent a lot of money. They had a great marketing campaign for it, and Skyrim is easy to get into. The game opens up with you're on a damn cart. You're about to get beheaded for something that you maybe did or did not do. One guy says, "Fuck this! You're not gonna kill me." He runs away. They shoot his ass with an arrow. A stormcloak gets executed after that, and then when they're about to get your ass, Alduin, the world leader, comes down, and due to circumstances outside of your control, you get to escape. And then your first choice starts. You can either follow Rayloff of Riverwood, or you can follow Hadvar, the Nord fucking Imperial guy, Imperial soldier. That's the first choice. In the beginning of the game, you are given a game-shaking choice that's eventually going to lead to you siding with a bunch of racists who hate everybody except white people, which is basically what the Nords are. Okay. Because that's basically that's what this Skyrim only for Nords. Okay, the Nords are blonde-haired, blue-eyed, tall, Germanic-looking white people.
Yeah.
Or you can join the Empire, which was founded by in-game lore was founded by Tiber Septim, who essentially wound up creating a multicultural empire that took in anybody who swore allegiance.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, real world, I really don't want to join a group of racists.
Yeah.
It's role playing wise. I also don't want to join a group of racists because I always play as a Red Guard, which are the black people of Elder Scrolls. Why would I join a whole bunch of racists?
Yeah.
Makes no sense. But yeah. I mean, it's like there's not a lot of nuanced storytelling or hard gray area moral choices told in Skyrim. It's very digestible, easy to play, and you can run around doing side quests in Skyrim, vanilla Skyrim, for a long time and just have the time of your life.
Yeah.
Like you can just it's very easy to get into. Oblivion, not easy to get into. Morrowind, not easy to get into. Daggerfall, not easy to get into. Arena, not easy. Like, Skyrim, I appreciate what it did for the fantasy open world video game genre, because if you didn't have Skyrim, you wouldn't have Witcher 3.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have Dragon's Dogma or its sequel. Skyrim busted open the door for a lot of games, but if you go back and look at it, Skyrim isn't great. Vanilla Skyrim is great. I mean, if you get the modded version of Skyrim, it's amazing. But, baseline vanilla Skyrim is trash.
Yeah.
But Last two games on my list: Pokemon Violet and Scarlet. There were montages of game-breaking glitches in this game that you can still look up on YouTube, where people were like on their Pokemon cycles. Which one of the two legendary Pokemon you get early on in the game, like depending on which version of the game, like turn into a hovercraft bike or just a normal bike, and people falling through the floor. Falling through the floor, game breaking glitches. Just a fundamentally broken ass game. Okay? They released that. They released that game. And you can't say, well, the pandemic, that gave them an extra year to work on that game.
Yeah.
Fundamentally broken.
Yeah.
You know? And I asked Pokemon fans, I'm like, okay, this is what you're accepting now. This shit right here. Okay. That's what we're doing. Okay. I don't ever want to hear a Pokemon fan complain to me about liking certain broken games when they accepted Scarlet and Violet, one of the highest selling games ever in that franchise.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And finally, Sacred 2, which I have on Steam, and I've never been able to play it because it's never been updated to run on modern systems.
Yeah.
Do you have any old games that you're like, oh, this is broken? I can't even play this. This is some busted shit right here.
Um, old games, huh?
It could be a new game.
Old games that are absolutely busted. Well, I mean, there are games I was looking forward to when I saw them. Forgot the name of the game. It was a Capcom game. It's about this. It is a shooting games. When cover shooters were really popular, and you were climbing up something,
Dark
and
Sector.
Dark Sector, yeah, and that game just got that game just got lambasted review wise, and I was a kid, so $60 is that is a lot of money to waste on a piece of shit. To risk on a piece of crap game. Um,
If you
see,
want to
there's
play a
a
good version of that game, there's a demake of it that's actually really good.
oh okay.
Yeah, it's like a NES, it's like a SNES style demake it's surprisingly way better than it had any business. It's like, this is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, a game that get people gave a lot of shit for was Devil May Cry 4.
You mean
I think people,
DMC?
yeah, DMC 4, not the
Not the remake?
remake, but the one
Okay.
before that came out that I know a lot of people didn't like, but I think a lot of people were just, at least the gaming media at the time was trying to get people away from PS2 era style games, uh, and they were just like, oh, these anime games are they're just not the thing, just not the thing. Um, let's see. The game wasn't broken or anything. It's just it was just super unpopular. Or at least it came to game journalism and stuff. Um, all, I mean, it's not like I was watching a lot of reviewers at the time or reading. It's mainly just G4 next play. But there's also another game that was busted or considered busted. I didn't really think of any. I mean, if I were to go back and play the old games I played as a kid, I'm sure I would see a lot of things I didn't see in those older games. Um, Skyrim and just the Oblivion games were games that always baffled me the most, and how it always amazes me that it's like so at one point you kind of want to it's tempting to jump on the Dragon Dogma 2 is busted train, but at the same time, it's like vanilla Skyrim came out, absolute disaster, and people just gave that a pass. Like, if it's like I've said before, if a game came out super unoptimized and super broken, like as we see with Dragon's Dogma 2, uh, according to the media, according to people on uh, people on Steam, we would never hear the end of it because I mean you've played a lot more Dragon's Dogma than I have, so you haven't found yourself falling through floors or
No, no, it's just
weird game.
unoptimized for it's unoptimized across. Like if you have a powerful enough, if you're I knew there was going to be problems with this game when they said it was coming out. They moved up the date because I think it was supposed to come out next month, and they moved it up to March. And basically, like the engine, it's using the RE engine, which is not designed for games like this. And it's like the game it's unoptimized. But if you have a powerful enough rig, you can just brute force your way through it, which is what
Mhm.
I'm doing. I'm not, look, it's, I mean, as they patch it, as they add patches to it, it will get better on PC. Maybe on console, I don't know. But it is a gorgeous looking game, and the PC port's pretty goddamn good. I'm not gonna lie, it's much better than it has any business being.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, I haven't had any problems with it. But look, to each his own. Everyone has their own proclivities and how they feel about things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I haven't had those. I haven't had a lot of issues with the game. But I'm not your target audience.
Yeah.
Like here's the thing. Most people who are going to be playing Dragon's Dogma 2 are going to be playing it on consoles, right?
Yeah.
And I remember playing Dragon's Dogma, the original Dragon's Dogma on console, and I was like, this game seems like it would be much better on PC because it's like you could see the limitations of the hardware at the time. Like I made a black character, the character looked like a goddamn monster.
Yeah.
Not because I made him look like a monster, but because they couldn't figure out how to get shaders right or to make, people of color look good at the time. Now they later figured that out because the main character, the side character, like your sidekick in Resident Evil 5, that's the one that had Shiva in it. She's very attractive. She's a North African attractive lady. So,
Yeah.
I mean, clearly they got better over time. But, Dragon's Dogma is just unoptimized for the hardware. It's not like broken. Now, if you want to talk about a broken PC release, let's talk about Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
That shit was broken.
Yeah. That game didn't get a pass. Like people were ripping into that game. Like there's no like
You know,
that game got no passes.
And I was one of the people's
And
like, there's a good game in here, but I mean, it's clearly
yeah.
this game needed another year in the oven. They should have pushed it back another year. But they were like,
Yeah.
we have to get it out for the shareholders. Okay. Yeah, yeah, it is.
The rotten shareholders.
Yeah.
Those rotten shareholders. And I get it, they want money, but
Yeah.
at some point, even as a shareholder, you'll be like, well,
I'll
maybe
take
we
this
should let
hit
them.
so I get more money later. But if you want your money now, if people put like almost like $500 million into a product and they tell you we need another 100 million because we're pushing it back another year,
It's gonna hurt. It's
you're
gonna
not
sting a
yeah
little bit.
you're not gonna
You're gonna
feel yeah
you're
you're
gonna
not
feel it.
gonna you're not gonna be like, well, guys, you gotta spend money to make money. It's like you be like, I want my money. You're gonna be like Superfly in the movie Superfly. Freddie, I want my money tonight. And if you don't, if your ass ain't out there in the corner selling this shit, I'm gonna put your wife out there in the corner. She gonna make the money up. That's basically that's the type of attitude these investors have. Now, once you have
Oh,
stuff like let me put it this way, man. I don't know what your plan is for your future, but when you retire, when you get start making more money, put some money towards retirement, get into an IRA, like an investment retirement account. And believe me, look at that shit every 3 or 4 months and see your money going up. And you're gonna be like, look, I put this money in here so that when I retire, my money can make money and I'm not gonna have to be a 70-year-old man at work. Okay?
Yeah.
I want a return on my fucking investment. So, I mean, it's like I'm not gonna like a lot of gamers, a lot of people on YouTube, the investors, they put money in the shit. They want a return on investment. I understand it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, as a gamer, I'm like, oh yeah, give them all the time they need. But as someone who also has put money into shit,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not trying to, fuck, it's a delicate balancing act. Yes, it is. But ultimately, it fell to the people who were at the top to say, look, this is when you need a good leadership team. The president of the company should have came in and said, look, this game is not where it's not releasable right now. We have to push it back another year. He should have pulled an Iwata. I will take a pay cut. Don't pay me that year. Or, take 90% of my pay. I don't need all that money right now. But the people under me need a year to get this game to where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Me and the executive staff, we're all going to take, I'm going to take a 90% pay cut. Everyone else is taking 50%. We're going to take that hit so no one has to get fired. So this game, we can have a year, put that money towards keeping these people employed for a year so we can get the game out, and it needs to be worked on. It's not where it needs to be. Because I can tell you right now, that game wasn't where it needed. There were side quests that were fundamentally broken. They had a city. It takes place in Night City, which is supposed to be this planned city, planned metropolis. It's set in the future. It has a subway, a metro. Does not work in the vanilla game. Now later on they fixed that with the Fallen Steel, whatever the expansion is for the damn game. But let me put it this way, man. If there's a major city, like I don't know how it is in the Midwest, but on the East Coast, in major cities, if you have a major city that does not have working mass transit, that city is fucked.
Yeah.
Okay? And this is like right now. This is the modern era we're living in. Now, in the future, city planning is going to get more advanced. But one of the core tenets is that you have to move mass amounts of people around, because if you can't move people around in a metropolis in an efficient manner, you're going to have so much traffic that no one can go anywhere. It's a hazard.
Mm.
Nah, not in Cyberpunk. It took 2 years for them to add a working metro to the game because like the team that made the game were ill. Like basically they had people working on putting trash on the ground. Like people were hand making trash assets to put on the ground.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Like if because when I got the game, you could go like when you first start the game and you get to your first apartment, and you could like follow someone around the corner and look at the trash. The detail on the trash was amazing, but I'm like, you're spending resources on something that most people don't give a fuck about. Why weren't you spending resources on NPC spawn rates?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like they want to make these swirls super detailed, but at the same time, it's at the cost. It ends up being at the cost of suspending disbelief, because
Yeah.
then you have all these other technical problems, which takes you completely out of the immersion of the game. This is like what you gotta find a balance.
They were
They couldn't
focusing.
find one.
No, you're right. They were focusing so much on the leaves, they missed the damn trees that the leaves were on.
Exactly.
We're like, oh,
yeah.
we gotta. I mean, they're like, okay, so you had people working on. I swear to God, I shit you not, because I actually read articles about the making of this game because I was like, there's no way these people made The Witcher 3. How the fuck did they fuck up this badly? They had separate teams working, like basically whoever was the overall like executive producer on this game and director on these games, they did not utilize their people well. All right, like
Yeah.
they had people working on detailed trash, which is why in that game you can look in a trash can and the trash looks amazing. Like it's like, wow, that actually looks like trash. But they didn't know how to put all these disparate little assets together in a cohesive way because the trash, like you'll have like 18 wrappers of the same trash in a trash can, which is unrealistic because no one's eating that much of that one product. You get what I'm saying? In a world where you have multiple products, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Or
You just make one asset, one, two, three assets, and just copy paste
exactly,
into it.
exactly. Or my personal favorite, they focused on NPC their faces. The NPCs in Cyberpunk, even back then, like they looked slightly robotic, but I mean, it was like they still looked pretty good. But it doesn't the suspension of disbelief when you see the same 4 or 5 people spawning back and forth. Like I just passed that dude just walked past me. Then you go back, you see the same motherfucker 6 feet away.
Yeah.
That's hey man, that's your brother. I just saw your brother. No, that's me. What the fuck? This guy can teleport. That's the shit we had to do. So when people tell me like there's legit beef with certain games, okay, and then there's bullshit, and like Cyberpunk was broken on almost everything unless you had a high end PC, and then you could brute force your way through it. Dragon's Dogma 2 is unoptimized, but you can if you have a high end PC build, you can brute force your way through it. But a game's broken even with a high end build, you can't brute force your way through it. Skyrim is broken. Even with a high end build, you can't brute force your way through the bugs in that game. Same with Fallout 4 and 76. I can't say Pokemon Violet and Scarlet because it's running on the Switch, and that's not a powerhouse. But, that's just my opinion. Anything to add before we move on to the next topic? That was a good topic. We had some good discussion, man.
Um, no, the thing about no, I think the Pokemon games should probably just go back to being isometric 2D games, rather than 3D stuff they're doing, because obviously they don't want to put a ton of money into the details of the world. Um, I mean, it's not just the fact that the Switch isn't a powerhouse, obviously, but creating an art style, maybe a cell shaded art style, which would allow, for let not you don't have to be super super detailed with like the fur, the feathers, or the skin.
Mm-hmm.
Um, something that maybe something akin to like um Wind Waker, but not look exactly like Wind Waker,
Yeah.
but something stylistic like that, rather than using 3D models, because that 3D does not the 3D look doesn't help. It doesn't.
No, I mean, like,
Everything looks
here's the thing. If the
plasticky.
games
Everything looks
weren't
like ugh.
buggy. No, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just like everything looks plasticky and cheap.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
To be honest, for me, if the games weren't buggy, it wouldn't be that bad. But because they're buggy, it's like I can't, because it's so buggy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Yeah, it's pretty. It is what it is, I guess.
I mean, you know, that I mean, sadly that's the world we live in, you know.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
that's all I got for that
Anyway, yeah,
topic.
that was some good discussion. We had some good shit going on in there, so that being said, time to move on to the next topic. So, yeah. Next topic is missed opportunities in gaming, which is a nice segue. I kind of touched on a little bit earlier with Cyberpunk 2077, how broken that game was, but I give credit to the devil when it's due. Um, no matter how much that game was broken, CD Projekt Red fixed it.
Yeah.
You know, you know, a lot of people would have just been like, no, but they actually, they actually sat there and did the shit, which I'm surprised. I wasn't expecting it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But speaking of that, let's talk about missed opportunities in gaming. This is where basically there was like some type of thing where it's like, man, this could have been amazing, and just something happened where they kind of messed it up. Do you have one, or shall I go first?
So what was the question again?
We're talking about missed opportunities in gaming where a game came out or something came out, a game came out, and it was like, man, this is a missed opportunity. This could have been amazing. Like one thing, it's
Uh,
like, this just it's fucked up everything.
I know we've brought this one up a lot, but Bioshock Infinite, where Jack and Elizabeth eventually team up and join forces since they were doing that whole like multiverse thing uh with the whole story and whatnot. They
Yeah,
kind of tried to tie it in with the DLC, but by then it was kind of too late.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, I thought that could have been they could have done something really interesting with that. And
yeah.
it looks
I
like with
No, go ahead, sir.
it looks like with
Judas.
Judas, they're really really just amping things up. But we'll see. We'll see.
I mean,
That's all I gotta say about that.
I still think it would have been amazing to have, like, I still think Bioshock Infinite should have just been, like, to me, this is my own personal opinion. Bioshock Infinite should have been, it should have been like you start as Booker DeWitt, and then like by the end of the first act, the first third of that game, it switches to Elizabeth, and the last part of it like should have been okay. Like that second act should have been okay. So because it's all about alternate realities, right? And where things didn't go the way they should have. Well, then you should have had like. It turns out that Comstock and all his little legion are basically running out of the power they need to do X, Y, and Z. So now they're invading another alternate reality. So the alternate reality they were invading would be a rapture that wasn't fucked up. Like, right, so then you have like you have a rapture where it's not fucked up. Andrew Ryan never like he actually had his kid. It didn't like, oh, abort it. Then it winds up being accelerated grown and shit, but you have those two characters team up and that's the end of the game. Like the third act is you and it's Elizabeth and Jack Ryan teaming up. to take on
Yeah.
both of them.
Yeah.
You know, like that would have been amazing. Nah, nah, that's just some lazy ass bullshit. And the thing is, like the BioShock Infinite had some good ideas, and they never went far enough. Like there's that point early on in the game where this like in their little Columbia patriotic thing where they got this black lady about to get assaulted by these racist pieces of shit, and you have a choice to either throw the ball at the lady or throw the ball at the dude doing it, and they stop you before you can do anything. It's like, well, I'm gonna throw a ball at that motherfucker because he ain't shit. No, no, don't do that. I'm like, make a statement, because the original Bioshock makes a statement.
Yeah.
It clearly says that the Ayn Randian form of, you know, I'm wealthy and I don't have to contribute anything to society whatsoever, you know, and therefore I'm going to create a libertarian utopia. Why Rapture fails. It's a libertarian utopia where everyone's out for themselves and there's no central authority. Doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't work. Okay? Being a selfish asshole doesn't work.
Yeah.
Anyway, um so that was a missed opportunity. What else was a missed opportunity? I think we haven't had a good Incredible Hulk video game in a very long time. And it bothers me.
Yeah.
You know, like the last good Hulk game we had was Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction, which I like.
Yeah.
But we haven't had a good one since.
Yeah.
You know, like, and it's a missed opportunity because listen, it's almost made. Like the Hulk is almost made to have games because he's a big muscle dude. He's not so overpowered where he can fly everywhere. He can run up buildings. He can beat the shit out of stuff. I mean, it's like right there, and just no one ever does it.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
I don't like it. No, sir, not one bit. I don't like it at all. But what do you think about it? Agree, disagree, don't care?
Well, I think they should have. Oh, this would be an unpopular opinion, but I would kind of wish they would have um evolved on the whole mechanic and the Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories thing, because um the games would have turned into something like that. It would have felt more like an RPG rather than
Just
just
a
going
standard beat 'em
around
up.
hitting shit. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
actually
if you
really
like
did like
that,
that. I actually really did like that idea.
yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people do. I just, it never did anything for me just because, I mean, I'm not into Kingdom Hearts anyway.
Yeah,
Like, it never did anything. I'm like, people, oh, Kingdom Hearts, like, okay, it's Kingdom Hearts. Nah, Kingdom Hearts. Meh. You know, I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, Kingdom Hearts, but it didn't do shit for me. I was like, eh.
yeah,
Yeah, my rule of thumb with Kingdom Hearts is, um, you know, like Kingdom Hearts put way too much Final Fantasy VII into it, and I don't like Final Fantasy VII. So
yeah,
if I don't like Final Fantasy VII, then why the fuck would I want to play a game that's just all fan servicey to Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah.
which I don't like anyway. I'm not a huge, but you do you, bro.
Yeah.
Anything else to say before we move on to the next topic? Missed opportunity
Um.
in gaming?
No, I don't think.
Okay. I got one more. One more missed opportunity in gaming. Sunset Overdrive. Sunset Overdrive was a really good game that, like, I remember certain people telling me, oh, it's amazing. And I remember playing it. I'm like, there's a good game in here, but this isn't it.
Yeah.
I know some people gonna get mad when they hear that. Oh, I like Sunset Overdrive. Yeah, I'm not one of those people.
Yeah.
I thought Sunset Overdrive was fine. Sunset Overdrive is one of those games that there's some good ideas in here, but it's not well utilized. Like combat, like the enemies are relentless, and it's the whole game is built around this like this give and take, and you're constantly supposed to be moving around fighting, and it gets old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to each his own. You know what I'm saying? Uh, anyway,
I thought Sunset Overdrive was actually pretty decent all the way through.
I
I
mean,
played the game very much.
I had fun with it. I just didn't think it was like, oh my god, this is the best shit ever. I was like,
It had
it's
potential to become something really
yeah,
good, but that's the problem. I mean, it's the problem with the industry is they don't give first games a chance. Like
no,
there's so many times, so many games that we loved as kids where their first games weren't particularly that great. Sonic and Mario Brothers. I
you
mean,
mean its first game, the one that was basically you're hitting Koopas in the sewer.
yeah, the first game,
Yeah, that's not a great game. It really isn't.
yeah, yeah,
Like if you don't play that with friends, that game is trash. And a
yeah,
good friend who knows what they're doing.
yeah. Compared to Super Mario 2 USA and Super Mario 3, like those games are great, and those games are still good to go back to every once in a while. So it's like today the game, especially if it's a new franchise, it's got to bat 1,000, which is absolutely insane to me. But
Yeah, it's you got to be damn near perfect in order to get your shit out there. And most of the time, even if it's perfect, you still are not gonna get something decent, which is
yeah,
sad. It's because if we thought that way with the original first game, like if people felt that way about the original Legend of Zelda,
yeah, yeah, the original Legend of Zelda, compared to um, two, which that game, if that got if that received a remake, I think you could do some interesting things with it.
oh yeah,
Definitely has there's definitely something. It definitely has something there with it. It just
that could be amazing.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Like if they remade that game, hey, we're gonna remake it from the ground up with you know uh maybe make it so that when you level up it's maybe make the leveling curve a little bit better, explain a better translation.
yeah,
Could be good. I mean, Nintendo wouldn't do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
Anyway, that being said, let's move on to the next topic. Let's see here. Next topic. Oh shit. Uh, Paper. Speaking of people, Paper Mario. Paper Mario's coming out next month. It's pretty. Or is it? No, the month after next. Thousand Year Door. Widely considered to be the best game in the series. You'll hear no
Yeah.
arguments from me about that. I think it is the best game in the series. I think it's better than the first Paper Mario game, which I think is a basic bitch RPG. And the only reason people think it's good is because there were only 4 RPGs on the N64. All right. And I know some people are going to get mad at me. Well, don't say that. Okay. Let's compare Paper Mario to the other JRPGs that were out in the 5th gen. And say, is it better than the original, the first one that was on the N64? Is Paper Mario better than Final Fantasy VII? No. Is it better than Final Fantasy VIII? No. Is it better than Final Fantasy IX? No. Is it better than let's see, what's another one? Is it better than Phantasy Star 4? No. Is it better than Grandia 1 or 2? No. Is it better than Breath of Fire 3? No.
Yeah.
The only reason Nintendo fans think that game is good is because it was the only shit they had. Alright? Now, Paper Mario 2 is a legitimately good game. I would stack that against a lot of 6th gen RPGs. And there's some that it is better than. Yes, I said it. Okay? There's a whole bunch of PS2 JRPGs that I would say that Paper Mario 2 Thousand Year Door is better than.
Yeah.
So with that being said, do you have anything you want them to change in the new release, or that they better not touch?
Um.
I don't know. I mean, I've played the game. I haven't gotten all the way through it. Um, just as long as it has that whole we change everything but nothing at the same time vibe, then yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. For me, I just want them to continue to yeah, I want them to just make it look like, just make it be more enjoyable, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know. I just want to see people get the daylights beaten out of them. I just want, like, I want it to be an idealized version of what we already had, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it. I don't think that's too much to ask. Do you?
No, I don't. I don't think. I don't think it is.
Yeah. Here's something that's kind of game related, but not really. Restock the physical editions, please, you bastards. That's it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so which takes us to our last bit of the cast, which is unpopular opinion and free topic. So let's get to unpopular opinion first. Do you have an unpopular opinion?
Um,
Something like, I gotta say this. This has been bothering me. It needs to be said.
No, not this week. Nothing I can think of.
All right. I have an unpopular opinion. Some people are going to get upset. I don't care because it's not my job to make you feel good about yourself. Only you can do that. So, to assuage your feelings, my unpopular opinion about gaming is this. It's about the price of games. Some people are going to say, I don't want to pay $70. I've recently come to the conclusion that while it doesn't bother me to pay $70 for a game, now here's the asterisk, if, keyword if you're adding appropriate content commensurate with the price increase. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to pay $70 for a game and there's nothing extra coming with it. Like, I paid $70 for the oh no, I paid more than that. I paid like $90 for the deluxe edition for Dragon's Dogma, and I got like I got the soundtrack, I got some extra bennies, you know, I got the ability to also change the background soundtrack while I'm walking around in the game. That's some pretty nice little bennies.
Yeah.
Now, if you're just gonna fucking you just raise the prices and then you don't add anything extra, like, Nintendo, hey, like Nintendo charged $70 for Tears of the Kingdom,
Yeah.
but there's no manual that comes with the game. I'm like, if you're gonna raise the price by $70 by another 10, could you bring back manuals? Could you do that? You bitches.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that. That's my unpopular opinion. I'm not against them raising the price of games. Matter of fact, I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't mind paying up to $100 for a game. But if you're charging me $100 for a AAA game, that game needs to have bennies. Like, it needs to come with all types of shit. Like, you need to bring back paper manuals, all in color.
Yeah.
Don't do that shit where the front and the back are in color, maybe the second page and the last page, and everything else is black and white. Because black and white is cheaper to print. Fuck you. Spend some money now that you're getting more money out of me. Unpopular, yes. But I'm not against it. If it's a AAA game. If it's not a AAA game, then keep those prices down where they need to be. $20 to $30. Maybe $40. That's it. That's my unpopular opinion. Let's move on to free topic. Do you have any topics you would like to share? Anything you're like, you know what? I was going to say this last night, but I forgot. Or this occurred to me today, and I just want to mention it.
There's some news today. I'm trying to remember what it was. Let me look it up real quick.
All right. Okay. While we do that, I guess I'll wax poetic about Dragon's Dogma. Dragon's Dogma 2 is pretty goddamn good.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's not the type of game where you can sit down and just grind out for like hours on it. Like, you play it, you maybe do one or two quests, and then you go back to the inn, rest up, buy new equipment, level up your character.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Apparently developers not happy with the PS5 Pro. They believe that this generation has barely gotten started.
Yeah, they're right.
So
It has been,
like, why are you coming out with this now? So,
because people aren't buying their last shit. So, when you need to make money, PS4s aren't selling like they used to, and they need to make money. I mean, it's and they figure like they used the parts they could last time, and what they figure is you know people will pay for a higher performing console. You know,
Yeah.
because the consoles that exist right now like can't go. They can't. They're missing. They can barely hit 60 frames per second solid.
Yeah.
You know, like they can barely. I mean, like isn't it like the P like is it like the PS 4 and the Xbox sorry, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, like aren't they like you can either do performance mode, which still isn't 60 frames solid, or you can do what's the other one? Yeah, you can either do performance mode, which still isn't 60 frames per second solid, or you can uh you can do what's the other one? Or you can do graphics mode, which is like 30. And these games, these systems were supposed to like unchain us and be oh so powerful. They would wipe our ass when we went to the bathroom and do everything. Remember that? Remember those lies and promises they said that these machines would do?
Yeah.
And none of that came to pass. These systems are fundamentally broken. They're underpowered. And I don't want to hear it. Well, it's the architecture. I have an AMD build, and I can hit 60 frames per second solid on most of my games, unless they have been deliberately coded in such a way that 60 frames is not like it just can't do it because it's the way it was made, not because it can't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what do I know? You know what I'm saying? But do you agree, disagree, don't care?
Yeah. I agree.
All right.
I agree for most. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. I'm just like I'm tired. You know, it's like Microsoft is trying to make a handheld, which I don't think that shit's gonna work. Do you?
Yeah. Yeah. They just want to make something because everybody else is trying putting their hand in on the PC handheld market.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the only people who have a PC slash handheld that I think is gonna do well is the Steam Deck, because Steam has all that infrastructure. Um, and maybe uh, and whatever Nintendo comes out with. And that's it.
Yeah.
No one else is getting shit. I'm telling you right now. Everybody else is done for. And I know some people are going to get mad when they hear that. They're going to disagree with me, but I think I'm right.
Yeah.
And I know some people are going to disagree with me. They're going to be like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." I think I am right. All right, because I've said this before. Nintendo has never lost with their handhelds. They're basically unstoppable with handhelds. And Steam has a
that's
metric
true.
fuck ton of infrastructure to support a handheld.
Yeah.
You know, and when you have the infrastructure to support something, then you can do it.
Yeah.
Whereas, a lot of those other dudes do not. Steam has the infrastructure to support handhelds. Um, you know, Sony kind of sort of used to be able to do it, but not anymore. With the Vita, they had infrastructure to support handhelds. Not anymore, though, because it's Sony. Sony doesn't like trying. You know, Sony isn't good at competition. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Whenever Sony sees competition, they run away. They're like, "Nah, bro, what's wrong with you? What do you?" Why are you trying to make me be competitive, bro? Because Sony don't like competition. Sony likes to have a sure thing. They don't want to have to put any real effort in anything. What, you're gonna make me try to do my job? What the fuck's wrong with you? I'm Sony.
Yeah. Yeah. Um.
Other companies have to actually get better at shit. Sony, not so much. Like you
Yeah.
saw what happened when they had to deal with Microsoft, right? They were like, "Oh no, 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 Microsoft, we have undue competition." That's why they fired the CEO.
Yeah.
Like they're like, "Oh no, I retired." His job, Jim Ryan's one job was to keep Microsoft from buying Activision. Want to know why? Because Microsoft, because a lot like the highest selling games on the PlayStation for like the last two gens have been third party Activision games. All right,
Yeah.
people were buying PS4s and PS5s to play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So Sony don't like competition. That's why they're coming out with a PS5 Pro, and they're once again going to split their fan base.
Yeah.
And then act mad when that shit doesn't sell. Anyway, I think that's the end of the cast. Anything you want to pimp out, sir?
Yeah. I have a SoundCloud now. It's Synaptic Garden. That's the name of the SoundCloud. Um, I have about 3 songs up there, so check it out. Also, Project Console Tuesdays, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time.
All right, all right, that's good. That's the end of the cast. This is Mr. Red Fox, I'm the proprietor of BS Busters. Thank you for joining us. We will be having a cast next week as well. Same bat time, same bat place. That'll be the 3rd of April. And that's going to be fun and fine and dandy. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you for joining.